Okay, so this video is in relation to exercise 3. Okay, so we're going to look at this. It's a block with some fins. It has an axle coming out from one face and it's got this disc feature. Okay, so this is what the part will look like when it's finished. So I'm just going to open a new part here. Again, just make sure bottom right hand side that you're working in millimeters. Okay. So I'm going to sketch and I'm going to sketch in the front plane. Okay, I'm going to pick a rectangle. I'm going to pick corner rectangle and then I'm going to start to dimension it. So if we have a look at our drawing sheet, okay, we can see that the rectangle is 80 and it's a width of 20. Okay, so we're going to dimension here. Smart dimension 80 and this is going to be 20. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is draw these fins coming up out of the block. Okay, so I'm going to go to rectangle again and I'm just going to draw 4 rectangles of different sizes and I'll show you how we can make them all the same and link them together. Okay, so they're all the same height. So the first thing I want to do is pick the top line. So pick the first one, press Control, and pick the rest. Now you can see there that I've picked point 15. So I'm going to delete that and go back and make sure it's a line that I've picked. So rather than a point. So I'm going to delete that one. Okay, so I'm going to make those equal and collinear. Okay, so now they're all at the same height. The next thing I'm going to do is trim this line here down into the block. So if I go to the trim entities function and I'm in power trim, so just be careful you don't trim something you don't want. So click left mouse button and drag down. Okay, click the green tick. So I'm going to start to dimension them. So they're a width of 2 mil. So I dimension this first one. It should change all of them because I've made them equal. Okay. The next thing then I'm going to do is make the height. So if I have a look here, the height is 50 from the top of the fin. So you can see here, top of the fin down to the bottom of the block. So if I go to Smart Dimension and make that 50. Okay. In between the fins is 18, but before I can do that, I need to make these lines equal. So if I pick the 3 lines in between, so click the first one and then press Control to pick the other 2 and make them equal. Okay. Then the next thing I want to do is Smart Dimension that and make that 18. Okay. Then I want to make these 2 lines on the outside equal. So if I pick this one and pick this one and make those equal, click the green tick. So you can see now that it's all the outline is black, so it's fully defined, as you can see along the bottom on the right there. So the next thing then I'm going to do is extrude that by 100 millimeters, so I can see that the length of that is 100 mil. So if I go to Features and Extrude, doesn't matter which way I extrude it at this stage, so just pick 100 and OK. And there we have the main block and the 4 fins. So the next thing then is the axle coming out from this face. So I'm going to go to sketch on, and I'm going to pick this space bar and then click this normal 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a center line. Okay, so I'm going to go line, center line, and pick the midpoint of this block and just draw it in. Then I'm going to draw a circle on the end of that line. Okay. And we can see here the diameter of this is 14.4. Okay. So if I go smart dimension, diameter, oh, wrong thing, draw another circle, smart dimension, 14.4. Okay. And the distance from the edge is 16 millimeters. So distance from here to here is 16. Okay, and you can see that it's gone black. So the next thing I want to do is extrude that out the ways. So if I go to features, extrude, and change this to 16. Sorry, it's 80 millimeters. 80. Okay, okay. So you can see here the length from the edge of the block to the end of the axle is 80 mil. Just check that. Okay, so it's on mid-plane from when I was looking or extruding something in a previous. So just make sure that I go back to blind. I knew it didn't look right. So that it's extruding from this face and not from the middle. And click OK. Okay, so that looks better now. I knew that didn't look right. Okay, so the last thing then we want to do is draw this disc. So we need to have a plane to be able to draw that on, but it's not on this plane. It's not on the end of this axle. It's somewhere in between. So its midpoint is 46.5. So it says 46. 46 from here out to the center point. So we don't have a plane currently for that to be drawn on. So we need to create a new plane. So we need to go to features and this command over here, reference geometry. So if we click the down arrow and click plane, okay. Now we want first reference to be from this plane, okay. And we're going to say, what is it, 46 and a half. Okay, so we'll go 46.5 from that face. Okay, click OK. Now it just calls it plane 1. It's created this plane, but it just means that we can now draw on that plane. So if I click sketch and click this plane and click normal 2, I'm now in active sketch in plane 1. So the center point is on the center point of this axle. So if I again go and draw a circle, I'll have to draw the center point. Should pick that up. Yeah, so if I pick center point there, draw a circle. Okay, so if we look back here, let's see. Is it giving us a diameter of that? So the thickness of it is 7 from the midpoint. So I think it's diameter 80. Okay, so I'm going to smart dimension that at 80. Okay, now you can see that there's this slot cut out of it. So I'm going to draw a center line from the middle of the circle up to here. Okay, and then I'm just going to go and draw a line just in the middle anywhere. So I'm just going to go from here and then another one to here. Okay. And I want to make those two lines perpendicular. So if I select this first one, press Control, select the other one and click perpendicular. Okay. And then I want to make them at 45 degrees. Want to make that angle between here and here 45 degrees. The total is 90. So if I go smart dimension from here to here, pull that out to an angle and change that to 45 and click OK. So you can see that the total going round to here is 270. So if I have a line coming up from the center, it's 45 to that center line each side. So you can see now that it's gone black, so it means it's fully defined. So I can now go into my features and I want to extrude that. So I go to extrude. You can see that it's just picked up this section. Now I want it to be mid-plane because I don't want to go in one direction only. I want it to go split between both directions, and it's 7 mil thick here. Okay, that should, now that's it finished. So this plane, you can hide that if you want, just to get it out of the way. So if you right click and then the wee eye, click hide, that disappears, and that's a complete. And then when you're shaving and before you exit your drawing, if you just go back into isometric view, okay, and that's it. And again, a wee reminder to save, and that is exercise 3.